Hi guys, this is Theo Makin and this is my 2-day elite MMA athlete training program. This is a training resource that I've created using a constraints-led approach. And this is based off the analysis I've made of the fight between Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria. This fight is going to obviously emphasise a lot of the success that Ilia Topuria had in the fight against Josh Emmett, emphasising his athletic prowess, decision making, and skill development under varying constraints. Um, so the first day we have the morning session. This is about skill development, working on striking under pressure, enhancing striking accuracy and decision making. This is what a lot of Topuria had great success in. There's a lot of striking with pressure, defense, movement. But we'll go further into the video. So first thing we have is a dynamic warm up. First we have joint mobility exercises and stretches focused on shoulder, hips and knees. These are a lot of the main joints that you'll be using, as well as elbows and stuff in mixed martial arts or MMA. This is very important that we stretch these and get these warm, really warm, before going into the more explosive, extreme exercises, because the nature of the sport, the joints take a lot of impact forces and they do a lot of explosive movements, causing quick reactions to be fired in the joints, in the muscles. So in order for us to reduce the risk of injury and get the most out of our sessions, we must warm up correctly. Then we've got shadow boxing with random sprawls. This is for 15 minutes. This is great, just working, getting that movement of boxing and kickboxing, getting the fighting movements in place, so you're ready to come in, knowing what to do, sharpening your technique, and also able to warm up using the techniques without taking any impact. We also do random sprawls as well, so it gets the fighters constantly thinking about that defensive wrestling, because as if you're a more elite fighter, a lot more elite striker, which is, in this case, Ilia Topuria, this is what you'll definitely need, because people will try to take you down. That'll be the first thing they want to do, and the last thing they want to do is take you down. You got to stop that with sprawls. Then we move on to light shoot boxing, to spot sparring, where one athlete is the attacker and the other is the defender, and you switch round. This is another constraints-led approach. We're taking just boxing with MMA gloves, and we're doing the takedowns and takedown defense. This is enable the athletes to focus on able to get their hands and defensive roles, which Ilia Topuria is great. His boxing is fantastic. The slips, the rolls, the counters, the footwork. This is what made him really successful in the fight. Also his ability to stop takedowns and stuff these movements. That's why, working on these sprawls, we're isolating these certain things so the athlete can get better and improve on it. After we're done with that, we're all nice and warm, ready to go into the main session. We've got pad work drills for 40 minutes. We're going to start off with some realistic combinations. So this is elite combinations that we use in mixtures of body, leg and head attacks, defensive footworks, blocks, feints, in and out of combinations, which is very important, and random wrestling defense. This is what an elite fighter, especially elite striker in MMA, will need to do. Is being able to mix all these, being able to work all these, able to not only just attack your opponent from head to toe, but you're able to defend your body from your opponent's attacks head to toe. You're also allowed to, with the defensive footwork and defensive wrestling, not only that does that help against striking, but like I say, also wrestling, enable you to constantly think of every time you're striking, right, he might want to come and take me down, so let's think about that, let's stop him from doing that, enable me to stay up the longest and me to be the most dominant in the fight. Feints are very important, blocks obviously, feints get your fighters making you thinking you're doing something else, and then you're going to do something else to counter that. You're going to counter him. Say, I'm going to jab to the body, he thinks I'm going to jab to the body, so I'm going to feint and come up with a right hand. These are the kind of things we want to be working on. Next, we're going to go back into some constraints-led approach. We're going to focus on just counter attacks. We're going to isolate the counter attacks ability. This is where Topuria did so great. He was able to do stuff like the shoulder roll right hand, to slipping and moving, using different stuff like so we're able to break it down and make the opponent the athlete focus on these counter attack scenarios. This is where we'll have one partner who will initiate an attack, say he throws the jab, the other partner responds with a predetermined counter, so the counter to that jab would be slipping to the right and then coming back over with a right hand. That could be one. That's just an example. But there's a million things you can do with this, but this would be enhanced our reactive and decision making. We'll also be working on, like I say again, defensive stuff like slips, shoulder rolls. The shoulder roll is what Ilia Topuria does really well in this fight, especially with the big looping hooks that Emmett likes to throw, which are very powerful. So they're very dangerous to deal with. To be able to deal with that in the pocket, he was able to roll under it, negate all the power, and roll away from the power of his shots and come back with counter shots. This is perfect because the name of the game, really, in all combat sports, but you hear it a lot in boxing, is to hit and not get hit. This is exactly what we're doing. We're making our opponent miss, and on the split second they've missed and they've left themselves an opening, we are capitalising on that and causing them damage. We score the point, they do not. That'll be done for another 20 minutes. 20 minutes each side, maybe like a minute rest between each round. Not much, very quick into this. This is an elite athlete, we should be able to have elite conditioning. Next we're on to environmental constraint drills. So this is one I personally use in my own training. This is a great drill and also a constraints-led approach. I call it King of the Wall. This is where one partner has their back to the wall and the other partner has them against the wall. Partner one's job is to get them off the wall, to get off the wall. And partner two's job is to keep them there or take them down. This is great at isolating these wall attacks that, if you're fighting a wrestler or anyone who, feels like your striking's too dangerous for them, they will want to grab you and push you against the wall. And these are something you might not be able to work in normal sparring. If you're in normal sparring with your partner, he might be a striker. He might not want to push you against the wall. So then you're not getting that experience of having someone press you against the wall. You're not having the experience of pressing them against the wall and attacking them against the wall. So when you go into a fight and someone wants to do that, you're unsure what to do. Now, isolating this technique and using the constraints-led approach to isolate, so then now you know how it feels to be pressured against the wall. You know exactly what to do to get off the wall or take them down, apply pressure on the wall to keep them on the wall. This is a great drill. I love it. Great work. Next one, we have the pressure footwork. I also personally use this one. Personally love this one. This is one that's great. Ilia Topuria uses a lot. Is able to control the movement of your partner or opponent. You're able to put them in certain places and movements where you want them, like say backing them up against the wall. It is very advantageous. It's harder for them to take you down. It's harder for them to strike. Gets them thinking, what the fuck, what's on my back? I'm not like... Yeah, it is a very advantageous thing to push them against the wall. So this is where one partner will be the aggressor and will be following the opponent two or partner two, following his movements, cutting him off with kicks and hooks. So say if your opponent moves to the left, I'm going to throw a big left hook to stop them from moving that way and kind of bring them back to the right. And if they move too much farther to the right, I can hit them with a right head kick. This is cutting them off before they can make that adjustment, make the movement. So rather than just following them around, you're cutting them off. You're kind of forcing them to move in certain ways and directions. So yeah, and partner two's job, obviously, they can't strike. Partner one can strike. Partner two must use feints, footwork to evade. So get out of shots, get away from things, fake it so they think you're going to strike, but actually not. Get some thinking of that for a split second, well, it leaves you that opening to get out. Then we're just going to have a cool down, 5 minutes, just static cool down. This is static stretching. This is to reduce risk of injury and improve recovery. Then you're going to have a rest. This is afternoon time. Go back home, eat plenty of protein, carbs, veg, plenty of water with salt in for electrolytes, and just refuel your body, get some sleep, maybe watch some tape, and get yourself ready for the evening session. Because we're coming into the evening session, we're going to come in and have some strength and conditioning. Now, a fit fighter will always beat an unfit fighter. So it's very important, and this is what Ilia Topuria had great in his fight. He was able to go the full 5 rounds and maintain his ability to fight, maintain his ability to think and react to things. When you're fatigued, it's a lot harder to react, and you make a lot more stupid decisions. So being able to keep a high pace for a long time is very good, and being strong and explosive, stops your opponent walking all over you. So we're going to start off with some warm-ups. First we've got some dynamic stretches and mobility drills. Side bend for 10 reps, world's greatest stretch, 5 each side, lateral lunge, 10 reps, reverse lunge to knee drive, 10 reps. Then we're going to do some light plyometric exercises, so we're going to do some pogo jumps, 20 reps for 3 rounds, and the same for, or not the same, 10 reps for 3 rounds for oscillating split squats. These are just really good at warming all your joints up, getting all the legs ready, getting you ready for this explosive movements, for the lifts. It's a very good warm-up. Then we're going to move on to some power development. Now this is very important. Ilia Topuria has great power. This is able, as well as Josh Emmett. So this was a very dangerous fight. So if Ilia Topuria didn't have the power to be able to stop Josh Emmett coming forward, then Josh Emmett can use his power and push him forward and push him away. So this is what we want to develop. We want to improve the explosive prowess of our fighters. So we've got medicine ball slams, 3 sets of 10 to enhance your explosive upper body power. Then we've got rotational med ball throws. We've got 3 sets of 10 to enhance rotational power. This is great for obviously hooks, kicks. A lot of things that Ilia Topuria did very well was within the rotational power, having full rotation. Then we've got kettlebell swings, 3 sets of 15 to enhance explosive power in the hips. And we move on to some compound lifts. We've got trap bar deadlift. We've got 2 reps of reserve, which is how we do this. If I were going to pick a weight that your max would be 2 reps over the reps you're going to do, if that makes sense. So if I had 140 kg on the trap bar and I did 4 reps and my max I could do was 6 reps. So yeah, this is what it is. We're going to do obviously 4 reps of them for 3 rounds. Zelcha split squats, 2 reps in reserve, with 6 reps for 3 rounds. This is the same with weighted pull-ups and push press as well. These are just great compound lifts, building overall strength. Very important for MMA in a sport where the characteristics of it is, if someone grabs you or wrestling and stuff, you need that strength. You need that strength to defend. So now we're going to move on to some endurance circuit. So we got air bike sprints, 30 seconds max effort sprints. We've got 3 minutes rest for 4 reps. This is going to be working on explosive power, explosive conditioning with the cardio, which is going to be using a lot in combat sports with the nature of the sport. It's very important. This will help you go harder for longer. And then as well with that, we've got some air bike sprints, 10 seconds max effort sprints, 1 minute 50 rest times 8 cool down, just some stretches. and some foam roller with major muscles. This is just an age recovery, and